Well, Championship Saturday went according to plan, sort of. We knew the winner of the SEC title game would move on to the national championship game in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl, and Alabama was a surprisingly easy winner against number one Florida, essentially dethroning the reigning national champions. The Crimson Tide moves on to the BCS national championship game and will be joined by Texas. Again, not a surprise, except for the fact that Texas played a wild game and barely survived against a tough Nebraska defense. Texas needed a last-second field goal that made it by about a foot, and they nearly wasted all the time before they kicked it to win 13-12 and move on to the BCS national championship game. It put just a dash of uncertainty on Sunday's events when the selections were made. There was at least a little bit of thought that maybe Texas could get passed by TCU or Cincinnati. Didn't happen. Alabama, Texas in the national title game. We've been sort of pointing towards Big 12 against SEC for a while, and that's the way it'll play out in Pasadena. Florida loses the SEC title, won't be able to repeat as champion, a third title in 4 seasons, which would have been historic, out the window. But Tim Tebow and the Gators will end their season in the Sugar Bowl, which is not a bad consolation prize, against an undefeated Cincinnati team, which was thinking it might have had a chance to play for a national championship, as Texas was barely getting by against Nebraska. High-powered offense for Coach Brian Kelly's Bearcats, a stellar defense that will come in with a chip on its shoulder after not playing well against Alabama for Florida. Should be an interesting matchup at the Louisiana Superdome. A quirky matchup in the Fiesta Bowl. We wondered all season what was going to happen to the BCS Busters, TCU and Boise State. Well, it ends up they're going to play each other. It's actually the second year in a row TCU and Boise State will play in a bowl game. Last year it was the Poinsettia Bowl in San Diego. TCU won 17-16. This year it's a much bigger stage. The undefeated Broncos of Boise State, 13-0, with a high-powered offense, Kellen Moore at quarterback, face a tremendous defense and a really well-balanced TCU team that also had designs on maybe playing in the national title game if Texas had slipped up. The Orange Bowl matches Atlantic Coast Conference champion Georgia Tech in its high-powered triple-option offense against Iowa out of the Big Ten with its sturdy defense, ranked number 11 in the country. For Iowa, it was thinking national championship heading into November, lost 2 straight games to Northwestern and Ohio State, fell out of the running for even a Big Ten title, won its final game and finds itself in the BCS for the second time ever. Georgia Tech is making its first appearance in the BCS. Paul Johnson's team is the second best rushing team in the nation with over 300 yards per game. The Rose Bowl ended up being the no-drama bowl. We knew the matchup there for days. Ohio State punched its ticket to Pasadena before Thanksgiving. The Buckeyes wrapped up the Big Ten and will play in the Rose Bowl for the first time since 1997. Oregon earned its first trip to the Rose Bowl since 1995 by beating Oregon State last week at home. The matchup in the game is Buckeyes' strong defense, one of the best in the country, against an Oregon offense that finished the year looking downright unstoppable behind Jeremiah Masoli and LaMichael James.